Let's go ahead and get started. Again, for those of you who do know me, and for those of you who don't know me, welcome. I'm Rachel Peters, physical therapist over at Agile Palo Alto, and I'm really happy that all of you have decided to come hang out with me for the next hour or the better part of it, I hope. What you're going to want today, if you haven't joined us before, you're going to want a mat, you're going to want to line or a carpeted area. You're going to want to be facing your screen. So your mat will be lined up horizontally in order for you to get the best view of what we're doing. I might be turning a little bit to demonstrate things differently if I think we need to. I'm also using a styrofoam roller. If you don't have one, not a problem. A rolled up towel or an extra mat, if you have one, a yoga mat, you could roll that up and we can lay it down vertically and work on that. A little cushion or towel for your knees. If you feel like you need a little extra padding under your knees when you're on the floor, on hands and knees might be useful. And also, we're going to be sitting cross-legged for a little bit of the time. If that's not the most comfortable, I will give you other options, but a little cushion, something that would elevate your butt up above your feet while you're sitting down facing the screen might be useful. And again, I'll try to remind you guys to get your props if you're going to need them in a little while. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start. We're going to go ahead and stand at the center of our mat. We'll start standing today with our roller or towel roll off to the side, somewhere where we're not going to hit it when we start warming up our arms a little bit. Let's go ahead and line up with our feet about shoulder width apart. We'll point those toes out slightly or get in a comfortable standing position. Let's go ahead and close our eyes if you're comfortable doing so. We'll just close our eyes, let our fingertips draw down toward the floor. Let's take a couple breaths in and out here. Inhale, let your rib cage expand out to your side, your belly come forward. Get a nice big breath. Exhale, let everything come back to its resting position. All right, we can open our eyes. Let's take a big breath in. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, arms come down. One more time, big breath in, arms come up. Let's clasp our palms and reach into the ceiling. And now we can drop those shoulder blades to the floor. And we'll take a few side bends. Just getting the side muscles loosened up. You can think about drawing your core gently in, taking that belly button gently back towards your spine to support your trunk as you move side to side. We're just going for a little of that side to side mobility before we go ahead and get onto our rollers. Arms come up, we'll take them down by the sides. Let's roll our shoulders back a couple of times. All right, let's go ahead and turn our toes so they face the front of the room. Hips and feet are lined up, hip width apart. We're gonna lift our toes up, let those arches rise up a little bit from the floor. Spread the toes apart. We're gonna lower them down one at a time. Pinky toe first, then fourth, third, second, and big toe. Let's repeat that a couple of times. We're going to warm those toes up. We're also going to warm up the brain to muscle connection. Here, it's like drumming your fingertips on a coffee table. It does get easier as you do it more. All right, we're going to drop that big toe down. We'll take our hands right to our midsections, and we're going to shift the weight toward the toes and toward the heels. Back and forth. Bring your awareness to what's going on under your fingertips. I promise there's something going on. As we hit those end ranges of our base of support, you're going to feel some muscles kick into your fingertips. Forward and back. Let's shift our weight right back over the front of our ankle joints, right over the arches. We'll take our hands, we'll put the thumbs back at the waistline behind, fingertips at the waistline in front, shift the weight side to side. You might feel a little bit more activity. You'll feel those low back muscles kick in a little bit as we shift our weight from one foot to the other. We can make some little circles around our base of support. The body's moving as one unit. We're moving around those feet. That pivot point is your ankle joint on either side. Feel how those muscles kick on a little bit differently, one side versus the other as you move. And then we can turn, shift it the other way. Let's make one more circle here. We'll come right back to the center over those ankle joints. And then let's shift the weight forward over our toes. Forward enough, we can take our hands down by our sides. We're going to shift forward enough that those heels lightly lift up off the floor. They can just add weight. Even if the soft tissues are on the mat, you're going to feel a little less weight on the heels and more toward the toes. Maybe from here we can rise up a bit. Maybe an inch, maybe two, maybe all the way onto the toes and come back down. Let's try that a few more times. We'll just wake up our calves. Notice the difference in control we have if we shift all the way forward versus just a little bit toward the ball of the foot. The farther forward you can come, the more of an advantage those calf muscles will have to keep you supported. We'll go ahead and shift back over the ankles as our base of support. Shake out those knees a little bit. And we're going to grab our roller or your rolled up mat, and we'll take it and orient it along our mat. And we're going to come to the roller. We're going to go ahead and lie down on it vertically. Okay? So come to the bottom edge of that roller mat or towel roll. We're going to get that tailbone resting on the floor, and we'll use our hands to gently guide us down toward that roller. All right. Once that head's down, pay attention to where your legs are. The thighs are going to be vertical. They're going to be parallel to each other. Feet, knees, and hips are in a straight line, and those arms are resting down by our sides. Let's just go ahead and rock side to side gently, just a little, shifting from one forearm to the other, pushing the floor away with your feet. Let's take ourselves back to the middle, and then we can challenge things a little bit by hovering our hands up off the floor, and then taking those arms up to the ceiling. Palms are going to face in on each other. And from here, let's take our shoulder blades, drop them down to the floor, raise them up to the ceiling. Keep that pattern going. If you're on your rolled towel, you should be relatively stable. If you do feel shaky and you're on a roller, feel free to bring one hand down by your side, and you can alternate arms, reaching those shoulder blades up to the ceiling, down to the floor. Let's gently draw our chin down toward our neck and try to maintain that knot, that same head position as those shoulders move. We're going to try to get that motion through the shoulder blades versus the rest of the body going along for the ride. One more reach up. We'll take those blades down one more time, and then let's take our arms all the way down by our sides, resting our pinkies on the floor. The palms will be facing in toward each other. From here, we're going to draw that belly down a little farther. We're tightening a little seatbelt muscles right between that navel and your pubic bone. And from there, let's press our hands gently into the floor. We're going to march. We're going to lift one knee up, 90-degree tabletop position. We'll float it back down. And then the same thing on the other side. Float it back down. We're folding through our hips, drawing the belly in, and almost getting the sensation that you're using those lower abdominals to lift that leg. If you do want to take it further, you could hover your hands up off the floor. Again, it's going to be a bit shakier on that roller than it might be on your rolled up towel. Maybe we take those arms to the ceiling. An option, if marching doesn't feel like it's in the cards right now, would be to just stay on the tips of your toes, lift a heel up and down, and then switch the feet. We're going to do one more march or heel lift on each side. Then we'll float those hands back down to the floor, keeping those abdominal muscles gently drawn in, belly to spine. We're going to take those arms back overhead. We'll arc them back toward the wall behind us, and then we'll take them up to the ceiling, down to the floor in front. Let's take those arms back and forth. Find a range that's working for your shoulders, where you can keep the rest of the body nice and still. The back of the head, the middle of your back, and the sacrum, that very top part of your pelvis, are all staying nice and still as those arms move. We'll take them up to the ceiling. We're going to drop those blades down to the floor again. And now we're going to take that arm closest to your screen, bring it out to the side. Maybe the back of the hand touches the floor. It's going to depend on how much flexibility you have to the front of that chest and shoulder area. We'll sweep it back to the top and then switch. Opposite arm comes out to the side. Feel what your feet and your core have to do that are maybe a little bit different side to side in order to keep you stable as those arms alternate coming to each side. Arm comes to the ceiling. We'll bring that arm closest to the screen out to the side one more time. Sweep it back up. And then that far arm comes out one more time, out to the side. Sweep it back to the ceiling. And let's take our hands back down to the mat. And we're going to turn those palms, press them gently into the floor as we take our heels and draw them a little bit closer to that roller. Let's hold them there. Take a big breath in. On that exhale, press your heels into the floor and see if you can unweight your glutes. Maybe they lift up a little higher. And then we'll take them back down, tailbone to the roller. Let's play around with that one a little bit. We're working a bridge. We have much less range to lift than we do when we're resting flat on the floor. But you should, if you wiggle your feet a little closer to your bottom if you need to, you should be able to find a little bit of leverage, enough that you can feel those buttocks working even if you're not actually leaving that roller as you take them up and down. Squeeze, press those heels down, lift up toward the ceiling. Lower that bottom down. And we'll go one more time. Squeeze those glutes, press those heels down, lift to the ceiling. Maybe we get a little stretch to the front of the thighs. Let's go ahead and lower that bottom down. We're going to roll off to the side. Let's take that roller or that mat away from your back. We'll push it off to somewhere where it's not going to roll back and hit us. Go ahead and lie down on your back, on your mat with those knees bent. You might feel like you're laying in a little bit of a divot since we did massage out through the side of your spine. That's normal. And from here, we're going to take a big breath in. We're going to exhale, drawing the belly towards your spine, gently activating those muscles right between your two hip pointers. We'll nod the chin down toward the neck, feeling the length through the back of the spine. And from here, keeping that belly drawn in, we're going to bring one knee up to 90 degrees. And then maybe we take that other knee up to meet it at tabletop. If you do need a little kickstand, you can have the other foot on the floor. We're still using those same muscles. And from here, we're going to take our hands and place them at the front of our thighs, one or both, depending on what's in the air. And let's build our pressure gently until we feel some muscles working from those lowest ribs all the way down to the pubic bone. The chin stays gently nodded toward the neck, and those shoulder blades are pressed down to the floor. They're staying active. Nod that chin a bit more, looking down towards your knees. Maybe we can lift the head, keeping that nod. You should feel the muscles in the front of your throat doing some work to hold you stable. Lower your head, release the nod. Nod and lift. Lower and release. Maintain a little pressure through your hands, nod and lift. Maybe we hold that nod. If you get real tired or feel the back of your neck, go ahead and bring your head down. Let's take our hands down by our sides. We're going to hover them off the mat just slightly, whether your head is up or down. And we're going to pat those hands up and down, taking our 100 breaths. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that pattern going. Breathing in for 5 counts, breathing out for 5 counts. You can find a tempo that works for you. If I'm moving at a pace that's too fast or too slow, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Keep it going. Maybe we straighten our knees, bringing the feet toward the ceiling. We could extend those legs in front of us. Keep that arm pattern going. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it going. Remember, your head could be down. We could have those knees bent in or those legs straight to the ceiling. And exhale. Let's switch our palm position. We'll press that air up toward the ceiling. Breathe it in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Maybe we have a kickstand. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Breathe it in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Last time, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's pull those knees back to tabletop. We're going to hold tabletop either with both feet up or one knee down. And we're going to roll the upper body down if it's been up. Let's go ahead and hang on to the front of those kneecaps. We're going to kind of let our legs rest on those hands. We can use our hands to kind of piston them back and forth, make sure that you have control of those thighs. We're going to hold them right there. Good. Big breath in. Exhale, draw that belly back towards your spine and hold it there. From here, we're going to take those arms to the ceiling and drop our blades down to the floor for support. All right. Let's keep that leg closest to your screen, right where it is in tabletop. And we're going to press that opposite leg forward toward the wall in front of us. Straighten out that knee. Maybe it lowers almost toward the floor. That's up to you. If you need more support for your back, that leg comes closer to the ceiling. Inhale, bring it back to tabletop. Exhale, press the opposite leg out. Inhale, center. Exhale, press. Let's go ahead and move through at your own speed here. Holding one knee to tabletop, pressing the opposite leg out. If you want to challenge this, we nod the chin and lift the head. We can keep those arms up toward the ceiling for a greater challenge. If you need a little more support, we can take the hands right to the front of the other knee, the knee that's staying bent, and hold it there. We'll do one more on each side here. We'll pull them both back to tabletop. We're going to pull that far knee all the way into the chest now and slide that near leg down toward the mat, nice and straight. We'll bring the upper body down if it's been up, and let's take that bent knee. We'll cross it over. We're going to oscillate a little bit, getting into the muscles on the outside of that buttock on the side where your knee's bent. Let's shake it out here one more second and then pull it right back to the middle. We're going to keep that belly drawn down and that knee pulled into your chest. Let's unweight that opposite leg. Lift it up off the floor and hold it there. Think about stretching it toward the wall in front of you. You might even get a little bit of a stretch to the front of that hip on your straight leg side. Keeping the head down, we're going to take that straight leg side to side. Paint a horizontal line on the wall in front of you. And if you do want to challenge those upper abdominals a little bit more, we nod the chin, lift the head. We're gazing right toward that moving foot. Let's take it back to the middle. We'll make some circles with that straight leg. Draw some circles on the wall in front of you. Little circles, draw in the other direction. Let's pause that straight leg, hold it there. We're going to bring the upper body down if it's been up. And if you can, keep that leg hovered off the floor. If you need more support, it can certainly be down. It could even be bent with your foot resting on the mat. We're going to hold that there. And we're going to take that opposite leg, straighten it up to the ceiling, hanging on behind your thigh. Hold it there. Good. Let's maybe move that hand up a little bit closer to your calf if you want more of a stretch. Now we're going to draw that belly down again. Maybe we curl the upper body up. Hold it there. Maybe we lift that leg that's closest to the floor a little bit higher, and then draw those heels down toward the floor. Lift and lower. We're pulling up with those abdominals. We're controlling it down with the abdominals, maybe adding a little bit of glute muscles on the way down. Let's press that supporting leg into the floor. We'll curl the upper body down if it's been up, and then the arms come up to the ceiling. Hold it there. We could keep that foot hovered for a little bit more abdominal challenge. We're going to take that leg pointing to the ceiling and move it side to side. Draw its horizontal line. Good. One more time here, side to side, keeping the back of the pelvis anchored firmly into your mat. And then we can make some circles. Let's go ahead and trace some circles on the ceiling with that foot. That knee could be bent. Keep the circles going. You could have your opposite leg bent if you did need more support. Let's do 2 more circles the other way. Big circles. Pause with that leg up to the ceiling and hold it there. We'll hang on behind the thigh, pull that knee into the chest, and let's switch it up. We'll do the other side. Near leg pulls in, opposite leg stretches out nice and straight. Hold it there, lengthening out through the front of that thigh, feeling maybe a little bit of stretch in that hip flexor on your straight leg side, and we can pull that knee across the body. Wiggling the side of that glute on your bent knee side. Let's take it back to the middle, hold it there. And then holding onto that knee, we're going to keep that belly drawn in, hover that straight leg up off the floor. And first, with our head down, we'll paint that horizontal line on the wall in front of us with our straight leg. Keeping that pelvis nice and still. If you do want your hands on your hips to monitor your position, that's perfectly fine. We can make some circles. We could raise our head. Trace those circles on the wall in front of you. If that knee is a little bit bent, that's okay. If it's bent, we're leaving the circle with our knee. Let's go the other direction. We'll stretch that leg out straight and hold it there. We'll hang on behind our thigh, stretch that leg to the ceiling. We can keep the head up or we can have it down. And we're going to lower that straight leg to the floor and then use those belly muscles to hover it up again. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Let's do a couple more here. Lower and lift. We'll bring that heel down, roll the upper body down. Maybe we bend that knee if we need a little more support. Maybe we keep it hovered off the floor for a little more challenge. And we'll take those arms to the ceiling. Let's go ahead and take that stretching leg side to side, really anchoring that pelvis down into the mat. Feel free to challenge your range a little bit. Play around with it. You won't know your limits unless you test them a little, right? Again, that knee could be bent. We could make some circles. We could even lift the head up a little bit and look toward that opposite foot. And circle the other way. We could play around with the arm positions a little bit. Maybe they come all the way back overhead for a greater challenge. Maybe they come down to the floor for a little support. Let's do 2 more circles the other way. Make these a little bigger if you can. Let's take that leg to the ceiling. We'll hold on behind that thigh. We can drop that supporting leg all the way down to the mat. We're going to roll our shoulders back in circles a bit. It's okay if you bend your knee a little bit. We're going to hold it there, dropping your blades down. Keeping that supporting leg pressed into the floor. Let's press the back of that knee on the leg. We're stretching into your hands. Enough that you either almost unweight your head, or maybe that head lifts up a little bit. And then we'll take it back down. Inhale. Exhale. Press your thigh into your hands. Lift yourself up a bit if you can. Take it back down. 2 more here. Lift and press. Lower and release. This could turn into a little tree climb if you're comfortable and okay with that flexion through your upper spine. Float it back down. We're going to hold on behind that thigh. We're going to switch our legs up. Opposite leg comes up to the ceiling. We lower that other leg to the floor. Keeping those fingers clasped behind your knee. We're going to take a big breath in. We'll exhale, press into the hands, lifting that upper body a bit, and we'll take it down. Inhale. Exhale, press into the hands, unweight. Take it back down. Let's do 2 more here. Press and unweight. Maybe we turn that final one into a little tree climb, climbing the hands up the leg. We'll float the upper body back down. We're going to keep a hold of that thigh and lift the opposite leg up. Keep in mind, both knees could be bent if you do need to shorten that lever a little bit. We're going to curl the upper body up if you're comfortable doing so, and we'll move to our straight leg stretch. Pulling one foot in toward the body, one knee in, and switching them up. Switch at your own speed. We could do a little double pulse, getting a little more active stretch there. We could also put the hands down by the floor as we alternate those straight legs for a little more abdominal work. Last time on each, head could be down. We're going to pull both knees into the chest, give them a nice hug, rock everything side to side. And then coming right back to the middle, we'll roll those shoulders back and down a few times. We're going to draw that belly down toward the spine. Bring those knees back to tabletop and the arms to the ceiling. Hold them there. We can flex and point our feet a little bit. Those toes have been pointed for a while. Let's go ahead and flex them, pulling the toes back towards your knees. We're going to take a big breath in here. On that exhale, the belly draws down, the shoulder blades draw down, and the navel stays still as we take our chin down toward our neck. Let's take a breath in. Breathing out here, we're going to drop both heels toward the floor. Slowly control them down, keeping that belly drawn in. We'll inhale at the bottom, bringing those knees back up to tabletop. You are welcome to do one at a time. If you feel like you can't keep that belly down, and if it's really, really too much to keep that trunk nice and still as the feet come up and down. It's up to you. It's something to work toward. Exhale, lower. Inhale up to the top. If you do want to build on this one, as the feet come forward, the arms can come back overhead and then back to the ceiling. Exhale, open. Inhale, center. We could straighten those legs up toward the ceiling, lengthening that lever a little further. We have 2 more wherever you are. Exhale, open. Inhale to the top. Last one. Exhale, open. Inhale to the top. We're going to draw those knees back to tabletop. Drop that belly toward the spine, and then hold onto your kneecaps. Give everything a little breather here. Let's roll back to the middle. Drop that belly down again. Hang on behind your thighs. We're going to straighten our knees. Find that first barrier where you feel a limitation in the amount that you could straighten out from those sit bones all the way to the knees. Maybe we pushed it just a little tiny bit toward that barrier. We could point the toes here. We're going to take our arms down by our sides. And with that belly down, we'll take both legs side to side. Paint that horizontal line on the ceiling with both legs together. Maybe we hover the hands up off the floor a little bit. Get you to control a little more work with your trunk. Those ribs stay nice and still and resting on the floor. Let's make some circles on the ceiling, both legs moving together. Opposite directions. You will feel your pelvis move a little bit with this one. That's okay. We want to keep those ribs on the floor. We'll bring the legs to the center. We're going to circle those legs in opposite directions of each other. We're going to circle them the other direction for 3, for 2, maybe a bigger circle for our last one. We'll bend the knees to tabletop. Hands come down, feet come down to the mat. We're going to line our heels up with our sit bones. We can rock through a clock face position with our pelvis now. We can rock that pubic bone, shorten it up towards your breastbone, flattening the back toward the floor. That's moving toward 12 o'clock. We can lengthen the pubic bone down toward those heels, moving towards 6 o'clock. Let's take it back and forth a few times. Try to keep the motion in that lower half of your body. That chin stays nice and still, which will keep your upper body still. Let's take that pelvis back to neutral. And now picture 3 and 9 on either side. And we're going to rock that pelvis between 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. One hip comes down as the other shifts up. And then we switch it. Let's do one more time to 3 o'clock. One more time to 9 o'clock. We'll take it right back to the middle, breathing in. And on that exhale, we'll reset the belly and spine toward each other. Inch those feet a little closer to your bottom. Try to get your lower legs almost vertical. We're going to press the heels into the floor, unweight those glutes, and lift up into bridge. Lower back down. Try a few here. Just test the water, see where you are. And on that next one, we're going to drive the heels into the mat, squeeze those glutes, lift them up as high as we can. We're going to hold it there. If you feel strain in your back, come down a bit so you don't. Really squeeze through those cheeks and press your heels into the floor to keep those hamstrings from doing too much work. We might feel a stretch from the hips all the way down to the front of the kneecaps. See if you can picture your kneecaps lengthening forward toward the wall in front of you. That might intensify the stretch. We're going to hold those bridges up top. We're going to pulse to the ceiling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there. Big breath in. Exhale, lengthen back down out of that bridge. We'll take a breath in here at the bottom. Exhale. Dig those heels into the mat. Bridge it back up and hold. And we're going to rotate through the pelvis. We're going to lower one hip toward the mat, keeping the other one lifted. Lift that side up and then switch it up. Opposite hip down and lift it up. We're going to go side to side at your own pace, keeping those hips lifted as best you can. Keep that rotation going now as we slowly lower the bottom down toward your mat. You'll feel different parts of those glutes activate as you wiggle your way back down to the bottom. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale, bridge it up. We're going to try that one again. Hold it up at the top. We're going to rotate through those hips. One down and up and then the other. And we're going to keep that rotation pattern going as we lower our glutes down toward the mat, finishing our bridge with that tailbone resting on the floor. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bridge up and hold. We have the option of holding the bridge or of progressing that a bit. We're going to keep the feet flat on the floor. That big toe stays pressed into the floor. The knee closest to your screen is going to come out to the side towards your screen, away from the other knee. Back to the center. Switch it up. Opposite knee comes out. Back to the center. Near leg moves, knee to the screen. Take it back to the center. Far knee comes away. Back to the center. One more time on each. Again, if you do feel any strain in your low back, feel free to take yourself down an inch closer to the floor. Last time with the near leg. Last time that far knee comes out. Back to the center. Big breath in. Exhale, bridge it back down. And let's take a breather at the bottom. Full pelvic clock here. 12 to 6. Back to the center. 3 to 9. Back to the center. Breathe it in. On that exhale, we'll press up into our bridge. And we're going to move to a march. Press one heel into the floor. That opposite leg lifts up to tabletop. Takes it back down. Press that foot into the floor. And switch it up. Let's move side to side. Again, working on keeping that pelvis nice and level. As we march, maybe we add some leg extension. Bringing those toes toward the ceiling. Maybe we add a little leg lowering. And as always, feel free to find the pace and the number of repetitions that's working for you. If you need to go faster than me, that's okay. If you need to go a little slower than me, that's okay as well. Let's press that foot into the floor. Take a big breath in. On that exhale, we'll bridge it down. Let's bring our feet and knees together. We'll rock those knees side to side. Take a few breaths as we let the body gently ease back into the floor. Let's take those knees back to the center. Cross one leg over the other. We can push that knee out to the side if you want to stretch into those hip openers a bit. If you want to take it a little further, pull the other knee into your chest. Hold it there. Gently rock side to side a little bit. Get into that glute on the side of the crossed leg. Take it back to the middle. Let's go ahead and switch it up. Crossing the other leg over, we can first press that knee out to the side gently. We can add that lift and rock it side to side if that feels like a good option. Let's take it back to the center. We're gonna unwind, pull those knees into the chest, and let's take our feet down to the floor with the hands down by our sides. Slide one leg out straight along your mat. Gonna inch up a little bit so my feet stay on my mat. And then drawing the belly down, slowly slide that opposite leg out straight to meet the first leg. All right, once we're here flat on the floor, reassess your position. If you do need to bend your knees to take pressure off your back, please go ahead and do so. And we'll take our arms up to the ceiling. All right, from here, just like we did on our rollers or rolled mat earlier in the session, we're gonna drop our shoulder blades down to the floor, and we're gonna reach our shoulder blades up to the ceiling. That chin stays down as we move those shoulders around our stable trunk. We're gonna keep that motion going. If this is challenging enough to maintain stability through your neck while you do this, go ahead and stay here. Otherwise, let's take those hands back toward the wall behind us. Find your natural stopping point, wherever your elbows would want to start bending. And just hold the arms right there. From there, those hands stay still. We're gonna, again, take those shoulder blades up to the ceiling, down to the floor. Notice the motion feels a little bit different here. You might get a little stretch under the arms. Up to the ceiling, down to the mat. One more time, up to the ceiling, down to the mat. Holding those arms back there. If you've been moving your shoulder blades with your hands up toward the ceiling, take them back a little farther now. Find that in range. Keep your thumbs lifted off the floor. We're going to gently draw the chin down toward the neck, feeling the back of the neck relax into the mat. We're going to take our breastbones. Think about those breastbones getting nice and heavy and anchoring into the floor. Lowest ribs are going to draw down and slightly toward each other, letting those upper abdominals work. The belly draws gently toward the spine. Hold those positions, and we're going to unweight one foot and take it back down, and then the other. And let's keep that going. Up and down at your own speed. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Let's keep those legs moving. Bring our hands to the ceiling. Your knees could be bent. We could be moving in a little march here. They could be straight. We could take one leg up and with the belly drop down, switch them midair. We have two more regardless. Last one. Take that second foot down. We'll take a big breath in. Exhale. Let's go ahead and roll over face down. We could bring the feet apart if your back needs a little bit more room. And we're going to rest with the forehead on our hands, elbows out to the side. From here, take a big breath in. Draw the belly up and away from the floor on your exhale. Keep those muscles active even if your skin touches the floor. And see if you can maintain that abdominal connection and float your forehead up off of your hands. Hold it there. Squeeze those glutes. We're going to lift the feet up off the floor. Let's flutter kick. Little tiny kicks with our legs. Maybe we take our hands down by our sides, stretching our fingertips toward our feet. Maybe those palms flip toward the floor. Maybe that breastbone comes up a bit toward the wall in front of you. You want to feel supported through your low back. If you lose that navel to spine connection, that head comes down, which is okay. Bring the head down and draw that belly in. We're going to click our heels together. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause your legs. We're going to hold them there. We're going to take our hands down by our sides and press the palms into the floor. Keeping that belly drawn in, we're going to take our feet down to the mat. and then lift those feet up. Lower the legs, squeeze the glutes, lift them up. If this is too much to do both legs at a time, one leg at a time. It's a slow flutter kick. Lower and lift, lower, lift. Hold it there, flex your feet. We're gonna see if we can keep the knee lifted and squeeze one heel toward the bottom, straighten it out, and then the other. Again, feel free to rest your head on the floor if keeping the head lifted is too much. We'll straighten those legs out, bring the feet to the floor again. That belly resets toward the spine. Arms come down by the sides with the palms facing down. We're gonna lift the hands up, pulse the backs of the hands to the ceiling for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big breath in. Exhale, let's push ourselves up to hands and knees. If you need a little cushion for your knees, now's a good time to get one. We'll do a few cats and cows, easing into our new position. We'll take it back to neutral and side to side, hip to shoulder, hip to shoulder. Take it back to the middle. And we're gonna squeeze our blades together, press those blades toward the floor. Squeeze and press for a little shoulder blade push-up. Blades come together, elbows stay still. Blades press apart, elbows stay still. We can stay on hands and knees here. We could progress it to plank. It's up to you. Squeeze the blades, press the blades. Squeeze the blades, press. Last 2. Last 1, press. We'll come back to hands and knees if we've been in plank. If you need to shake your wrists out a little bit, go ahead and do so. And we're gonna switch to single arm. One hand comes up to your thigh. We push the other side. Squeeze the blade toward your spine. Press the blade toward the floor. Those shoulders are gonna stay level with each other. Squeeze and press, squeeze and press. You are welcome to come up to plank. Maybe those feet are a little wider for a little more balance. And again, squeeze and press, squeeze and press, squeeze and press. Let's take ourselves back to hands and knees. Shake that supporting wrist out, especially if you've been up in plank. We'll switch it up. Hand comes to your thigh. Shoulders stay level. We squeeze and press the blades. Squeeze and press, squeeze and press. Maybe we come up and try it in that plank. Squeeze and press, squeeze and press, squeeze and press. Hands come down. If you're on hands and knees, see if you can bring your knees back a little bit to a plank on the knees. We can hold it up in full plank, and we're gonna shift our weight from side to side, whether we have our knees down or knees lifted. Let's take it back to the center. Knees come down again, and we're gonna come down to our forearms. Let's hold it there. You could double your fists up and rest your forehead on your hands, or we can keep the head rested with that chin gently nodded. We're gonna take a leg back behind the body, lift it up and down. Goal here is to keep that pelvis nice and still. Keep that belly drawn in if you can. Leg stays lifted, and we take it side to side. Draw that horizontal line on the wall behind you. Stretch that leg back behind the body. We're gonna bend the knee and flex the foot. We'll control that knee down to the mat. Lift that bent leg up. Down and up. Moving through a range that you can control with your glutes. If your hip flexors are a little tight, that knee might not come up quite as high. We're gonna pulse to the ceiling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that knee back down, switch it up. Opposite leg comes out straight. And we lift that leg up and lower it down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep it going. Hold it up there. Straight leg comes side to side. Out and in. Draw that horizontal line. One more time. Stretch it back. Bend the knee, flexing the foot. We'll take that knee down. Bring that bent leg up. Down and up. Last 2. Last 1. Press to the ceiling. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that knee back down. We're going to push the bottom back toward the heels. Stretch those arms forward. Give those shoulders a little bit of a reprieve. Big breath in. Exhale, back up to hands and knees. We're going to hold ourselves nice and still. Pretend you have something balanced in the small of your back. We're going to take one leg back and the opposite arm forward. Find your balance point and switch it up. And if you do want to make this one harder, we come up to plank and do the same thing. You could also be in plank and just the legs, or in plank and just alternate lifting the arms. Belly stays drawn in. We try to stay in control of that motion as much as we can. All right, let's go ahead and come back down to hands and knees. Now we'll bring our feet together, our knees apart. Take the bottom back toward the heels, stretch those arms forward. Big breath in, big breath out, draw that forehead down toward the mat. Drop those armpits down toward the mat as well. Hold it there. We're gonna walk our hands toward the screen for a big breath in. Exhaling, let's take them back the other way. Big breath in, big breath out. Walk those hands toward the middle, hold them there. We're gonna shift the weight over our forearms, take those legs back behind the body. We're gonna be resting on the upper thighs. We're gonna squeeze our shoulder blades together behind our back, just like we did on hands and knees, and then we'll press them toward the floor and leave them there. Hold it. Belly draws up and away from the floor. If you do feel the need to support your spine a little bit more, you can draw up a little bit closer to your knees. And we're gonna shift the weight side to side, maintaining that navel to spine connection. Shift back to the middle with that belly drawn in. We're gonna take one knee and bend it. Kick that heel toward the bottom, straighten it out, switch it up. Kick, kick, straighten, kick, kick, straighten. Back stays still, pelvis stays still, knee bends. If your quads are a little tight, those knees might not quite bend as much as if they're not tight. So do your best. Main thing here is we want to keep that spine nice and still as those legs move. Doesn't matter how much your knees are bending. All right, last one here. We'll take a big breath in, and on that exhale, we're going to push ourselves back up to hands and knees for one more cat-cow. We'll take it back to the middle, and then let's go ahead and bring our legs forward. We're going to sit in long sitting with our legs in front of us. If you feel like it's difficult to be upright here in that vertical position, feel free to bend your knees. And if that's not enough, grab the cushion that we talked about at the beginning of class, and you can put the cushion under your buttocks to keep you a little bit elevated. So we're going to find our position here. The feet are going to be out toward the outer edges of your mat. So a narrow V here. You're going to flex those feet, pulling the toes toward the ceiling, and then the arms come up. We line them up in that narrow V over your feet. And with that belly drawn in, let's hinge. Let's reach those fingertips toward the wall in front of you. And then we'll come up nice and tall. Hinge and up. Hinge it forward, up tall. Hinge it forward and hold it there. Find the position where you do get a hamstring stretch, maybe a little inner thigh stretch. And we're going to take our hands down to our legs. Maybe it's the toes, maybe it's the shins, maybe it's up at the knees. All of them are fine. Hold it there. We're going to sweep our hand to the leg closest to your screen. And then that arm closest to your screen is going to come out to the side. First, just test the waters, take it out. Then maybe look over that shoulder. And if you have a little more slack in your system and you feel comfortable, you could rotate. We'll take them back to the leg and then sweep them across to the other side. First, opening up that hand, turning the head, and then opening that arm up if you have a little more room. Let's go ahead and sweep through one more time to each side. Open it up. Other side. Open it up. We'll do one more on each. This one's called the saw in classic Pilates. The fingers could reach all the way over, and it was like you're sawing your pinky toe. Open that arm up. A little morbid for a Friday morning, but go with it. We'll go ahead and switch over one more time. Hand to the pinky toe. Reach it up. Take them back to the center, and we'll come up nice and tall. Shake those legs out a little bit, and then we're going to bend our knees. We'll keep those feet flat on the floor now. Toes pointing directly forward toward the front edge of your mat. And let's hold on to the tops of the knees. We're going to keep that belly drawn in. Use your hands to support your trunk as you lean back. Try to get back to a little bit of an angle. And then keeping a hold of your knees, draw your belly back towards your spine. Hold it there. We're going to flip our hands so they press into the outsides of the knees. With that belly drawn in, press your knees and your hands toward each other. Give yourself a little bit of resistance there. If you can't maintain that navel to spine connection, come up a little taller until you can. Hold it there. Open up your arm, look towards your screen, feel that opposite side working. Take the hand back to your leg and switch it up. Opposite arm out, follow it with your head. Take it back to the center. Open the arm up. You could take that other leg, raise it up. Take them back to the center. Switch it up. Open, look out to the side. Leg comes up. Take it back to the center. One more time on each side. And center. Open and extend that leg. And center. Hold it there. We're going to tip back a little bit further. Come up onto your tiptoes. Belly stays back. Maybe we balance on that sacrum just behind your tailbone. The feet could be down if they need to be. Hands come out to the sides. And again, we're going to lift one leg and bend it up again. Opposite leg lifts and bends. Keep that going. Maybe we make it more challenging by taking those arms up toward the corner where the wall and the ceiling meet in front of you. Maybe we move both legs together. For 3, for 2, for 1. Bend those knees. Let's take those feet back to the floor. We can sit up tall. Do a couple little cats and cows and sitting here. Coming up tall, we're going to take our hands back behind the body. Press those hands into the mat. Fingertips facing forward or out to the sides. Straighten up those elbows. Wiggling your bottom to a position where you can keep your elbows straight. Squeeze your blades together. And if you still have more room, more slack in your system, you now could bring your bottom forward a little. Find that position. You're going to feel a stretch through the front of the arms. We're going to send that breastbone toward the ceiling and take a few breaths. Maybe lifting up into reverse tabletop. That's up to you. We're going to hold wherever we are. Bottom down or bottom up. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. One more time. Big breath in. Big breath out. Let's slowly lower that bottom down. If you've been lifted, we'll take that breastbone, face it directly in front of you versus up to the ceiling. Shake the wrists out, and we're going to move to cross-legged sitting facing your screen. So again, if you want that cushion under your bottom, you're welcome to grab it. Cross-legged sitting's fine. Legs in front of you are fine. Find a comfortable sitting position facing your screen, and we'll take those arms out to the side. We're going to picture that rib cage lifting up off of the pelvis, keeping us nice and tall as we take a side bend. We're going to touch one hand down, bring that opposite arm over, feeling the length through that opposite side. We'll take it up and over to the other side. Inhale up tall, exhale side bend. Maybe we add rotation, taking that breastbone to the floor. Take it back, up tall, side bend the other way, add that rotation. Take it back, come up nice and tall. Let's do one more of those on each side. Side bend, rotate down, side bend, come up tall. And last time, side bend, breastbone down to the floor, side bend, come up nice and tall. We'll roll those shoulders back. Let's take those arms out to the side one more time, palms facing forward. We're going to squeeze our blades and hold it there for 8, 7, pulse, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms come down, roll those shoulders back one more time. We're going to come up into kneeling. So you might want some extra padding for your knees, either your rolled towel, or you could take your mat and roll it over a little bit, giving yourself a little extra cushion. We're going to come up onto the knees, and we're going to take one leg out to the side. Okay. Toes could be pointing out. Toes could be pointing forward. We're going to try to keep that whole foot on the floor. Find that inner thigh stretch. And if you're comfortable coming up from that position, come up nice and tall. Hands on the hips. We're going to take the crown of the head forward and your tailbone back. Hinge, come up tall. Hinge, come up tall. Last 2 here. And lift. Last time, take it forward. Take it up tall. Arms come out to the side. We're going to take a side bend here. Side bend toward that bent knee. Maybe that arm comes up and over. And then we side bend toward our straight leg. Find a range that's working for you. It could be a teeter-totter. Just testing the waters there. It could be all the way over. We could take that other leg up and use it for a little momentum. Last one here. We'll come up nice and tall. Let's go ahead and bring the hands down. We'll switch to our other leg. Straighten out that leg. Foot to the floor. Find your inner thigh stretch. And we'll come up tall. And we'll hinge. Take it forward. Find that stretch point. Take it up tall. We're just finding that edge. We're finding that limit where you first start to find that stretch, and then we're coming up out of it. We want to be able to move through so that we can control our range versus forcing ourselves into something that we might not be able to use later. Hold it up nice and tall. We'll take those arms out to the side. And again, we teeter-totter or we take a side bend. Up and over. Side bend, maybe that leg lifts. Let's do 2 more here, whatever range you're feeling comfortable working within, whatever range you're comfortable pushing a little bit. Last one, over toward that straight leg. We'll come up nice and tall. Let's roll those shoulders back and down. And we're gonna make our way down to our sides. We're gonna rest the head on that lower arm. Bend up those knees so your heels line up with your sit bones. Top hand comes to the floor. And we're gonna do some variation on clamshell series here. We're gonna press the feet into the floor, lift those knees, lift and lower. Upper body stays nice and still, pointed towards your screen. If that bottom knee won't go along for the ride with you, feel free to stick with just that top knee going. We'll do a couple more here. Knees come down, feet lift up and stay there. Take that top knee up and down, keeping your bottom leg pressed into the floor, those feet pressed together. That top arm could be up if you want it out of your way. Could be down by your side as well. Let's take those knees down. We're going to keep that top knee bent, straighten out your bottom leg. Top foot comes to your bottom lower leg, and we press that bottom leg firmly into the mat. Press from your ankle all the way up. That'll help stabilize you. You feel your whole side working. Maybe we take that top arm to the ceiling. Let's see if we can wiggle that top knee up and down. Keep it going. That top hand could certainly be down in front of you for a little support. We're going to straighten out that top leg, line it up behind your bottom leg, and we're going to touch the toes down and back, arc them up, touch them down and in front. Like a little hot potato. Touch the floor behind. Keep that going. Last one. Take that leg up, line up that top leg in line with your body, and we're going to circle it. We'll switch to the other direction. Hold it up there, bring that bottom leg up to meet your top leg. We'll take them down and up together. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Exhale down, bend up those knees, pat your hip out. Take a couple breaths here. We'll make our way up to sitting, and we'll switch to the other side. That glute should let you know it's feeling the work is done. We'll switch it over. Rest your head on your bottom hand. Knees bent, heels lined up with those sit bones. Hand comes down to the floor for stability, and we lift those knees, one or both, up and down. Last 2. Knees come down, feet come up and stay there. Feet stay together. We press that top knee up and down while keeping that bottom leg nice and still. There's 3, 2, and 1. Knees and feet come down. Keep that top knee bent. Straighten out your bottom leg. Press the bottom leg into the floor. Top foot stays on top of that bottom leg. And we're going to wiggle that top knee, lower it, and lift it. Down and up. Let's do 2 more here. Straighten that leg out, line it up with your bottom leg, and then take it back a bit. And we're going to touch the toes down to the floor behind. Arc them up, touching down in front. Maybe that top hand comes down for a little support. Maybe we slow our leg down and bring that top arm up. Down and up. Keep pressing your bottom leg into the mat. Last one. Lift it up. Let's make some circles. Let's circle the other way. Hold that leg up there. Bottom leg comes up. Take them down up together. Last 8, 7. Hand could be down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Take them down. Bend up those knees. Pat on your hip. All right. Nice job. We'll take a couple breaths here. And let's turn on to our backs. We're going to bend up those knees. Rest our trunk into the floor. Take a couple breaths here. And when you're ready, let's cross one leg over the other. Maybe we pull that knee into the chest for a figure 4 stretch. That foot could stay down on the mat. It's completely up to you. You want to go with what gives you a nice, comfortable opening through that hip. We can unwind and switch sides when you're ready. Maybe we pull up, rock side to side. Unwind. Let's go ahead and hug those knees into our chest. We're going to make our way up to standing for a few balance exercises to finish. If you'd like to join me here, we can move through hands and knees for a few cats and cows. Feel free to stand up whenever you'd like. Maybe we wag a little bit side to side. We can come up through our plank. We could do a push-up if you're so inclined. Take that tailbone to the ceiling. If you want to go into a little bit of inverted V or downward dog, and let's drop our heels down to the mat for a big breath in. Big breath out. We'll walk those feet toward your hands. And let's come up nice and slowly to our feet. We can roll those shoulders back a bit. If you want to find something steady to hold on to for our final few exercises, go ahead and do so. Grab a wall, grab a chair, grab a countertop. Grab your roller if you want something small. Something that just gives you a little bit of support. That could be right here, just enough to give you a little bit of input to keep you balanced. And we're going to go ahead and take our feet a little bit wider than our hips. Hands are going to go right in the folds of your hips. And what I want you to do is soften your knees up, stick your bottom back just a little. So we're not really in a squat, we're just in a little bit of a hinge. That breastbone is pretty much right over my knees here. So that's where we are. We're going to take our hands to the sides of the hips, and I want you to shift your weight side to side. Feel how your glutes tighten up a little bit as they get ready to accept the weight onto that side. Keep that weight shift going side to side. Let's go ahead and park it over one side. Feel those glutes working. Hold it there. Come up nice and tall, then we'll straighten our knees. We're going to keep the weight over that foot. Keeping the weight there, we're going to take the other foot in front of it. We're going to stand heel to toe. Find your balance point. If you need to hold on, that's okay. Challenging this further, we could look side to side. We can look back to the center, and maybe we move up into single leg balance and hold it there. We could try shifting the weight a little bit forward, going up onto the toes. We could try hands to the hips, hinging a little bit. Almost moving toward a squat. We could try moving toward an airplane position where we hinge forward with the body, taking that leg back behind us. Think warrior 3 if you've done yoga before. You are welcome to use your roller if it doesn't fall over like mine does. Let's take those hands down. Take those feet down. Shake out our legs a little bit. We'll bend up those knees again. Hands to the hips. Hinge those hips back. We're going to shift the weight side to side again. We'll go all the way to the other side. Hand comes to that glute. We come up nice and tall, keeping the weight right over that leg. And then we move that other foot in front of us. Find your balance point. Find something to hold if you need it. Maybe we look side to side. Take it back to the middle. We could shift to single leg balance. Maybe taking it up and down a few times. We could take our hands to the hips, maybe hinging back and up, moving toward a squat type position. And then maybe we bend the knee a little bit, take ourselves toward that airplane. All right. You'll feel that supporting leg working no matter what you're doing. Take our feet down to the mat. Let's shake our legs out a little bit. We'll bring those feet a little wider than our shoulders. Let's take those